Welcome inside Kerr Hall on the campus of Toronto Metropolitan University in Toronto, Ontario for game one of the America's qualifier featuring the Canadian and US national teams. This qualifier is leading up to the World Championships in Malmo this winter and a spot at the World Games in China in 2025. Stuart Bowden and Carl Simpson welcoming you inside for this matchup. Traditional North American rivals, Carl, and it should be a great two-game series.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of new faces for both teams. A lot of homegrown talent showing up for both squads, which is a change in pace from not maybe Texas, but the years past. So it'll be good to see what happens.
Yeah, these teams have met fairly recently, played some friendlies in Iceland just in November, and then obviously the qualifiers in Texas back in February of 2022, and then not getting to meeting in the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. Both teams there by virtue of the USA hosting and Canada being the America recipient. Just waiting for the teams to enter, and then they'll line up. We'll have the national anthems, and then we have some special presentations prior to the game.
It's all down to a very timed science here with the IFF.
Good crowd here at Kerr Hall, all wearing Team Canada and Team USA jerseys, supporting the team of their choice.
We're pretty maxed out, actually. It doesn't look like there's too many empty seats around here, so that's good to see, especially for a midday game.
There you can see the rosters for both teams. First time that we'll see, as you mentioned, a lot of homegrown talent, but a lot of talent on the Canadian side that wasn't in Iceland. And both teams entering. Canada wearing their red jerseys with the white shorts and red socks, led by Captain Matt Smith. US deciding to go in all white shirts, white pants, or white shorts, and white socks. And they'll line up at center. Our referees are from Sweden. We'll pause for the playing of both national anthems.
Before the start of the match, Football Canada would like to recognize one of its players, Matt Smith. Mr. Smith has played his 50th game for Football Canada against Team USA.
So Matt Smith, the captain, being recognized.
2012 has been to 6 World Floorball Championships and 4 Men's World Floorball Championship qualifications. He has the most games played for Floorball Canada. His stats stand at 10 goals, 35 assists, and is tied for 4th in all-time points, and is the Floorball Canada leader in all-time assists.
So Matt getting a special presentation for playing his 50th game on the national team.
That was back in Iceland, right?
Correct, yeah. And we should mention that this will be the first time that Matthias Carlson, the new head coach of Team Canada, playing here in the qualifier.
Number 88, Brandon Barber. Center, number 16, Chris Cookman. And on right, number 91, Anthony Dikowski.
Starting lineups for Canada just being announced. The line of Valerie Vidakovsky, Brandon Barber, and Chris Ruckman. On defense, Tristan Walsh and Atu Limiala. And in goal, Christoph Kasha, the Prague, Czech Republic native.
Attackers, number 75,
For the U.S., one who trusts.
number 90, Max Yonagari.
Max Alcaberri and Max Blanco. Can't mistrust by his hair. Always know when he's on the ice. And Reed Hearns, number 88, tallest player out there.
Long-standing USA goaltender, Stockley in net.
And the referees for today's match, Wicker, Westman, and Thomas Anderson.
And there's the introduction of the referees. So we should point out, Carl, how this works. So it's 2 games, 1 game today, 1 game tomorrow, aggregate score. So whatever the score is today basically carries over tomorrow. So, for example, at the qualifier in Texas, Canada won the first game 4-1. Second game was tied 4-4, so Canada advanced 8-5 on aggregate, even though it was 1 win and a tie. So both games could end up in a tie. It's the team that scores the most aggregate goals for and against. And we've seen that in some competitions, especially in the Oceanic one, where we had 3 teams all tied with 3 ties and the same goal differential. Crazy.
They had to play a final game, correct?
I don't know how they ended up settling who went.
Or it's based off previous experience.
It might be previous rankings.
Yeah.
But let's hope we don't have here. Hopefully we have a clear and decisive winner and 2 great games here as we get ready for the face-off.
Full benches for both teams here. Trying to find room to sit. Get ready for the opening face-off. Clean win by Vidakovsky, back to Walsh. Canada's going to start us off here. Canada again in their reds, moving left to right. Team USA in all white, moving right to left on your screen. Bumps up the wall to Vidakovsky. Challenged by Hearns. Advantage given to Canada.
Vidakovsky stick caught in Hearns' legs, so an advantage to Canada, and now a free hit in the corner, and a ball already destroyed.
2 ball needed. Barber to take the free hit. Lots of movement in front of the USA net. Ball comes back to Walsh. Pressure here from the United States. Back over to Ruckman. Canada just trying to keep their calm here. 45 seconds in. Don't need to do anything crazy.
3 20-minute periods, so as you mentioned, Carl, lots of time. Teams will get their changes in here. As Keiston replaces Walsh on the back end. Now Jete out for Rumanella.
Cam Buck there, lost it. Corralled back to number 26, Hart. He goes up the middle, intercepted by Cedric. Cam Buck with the first shot. First save of the game goes to Stockley.
Good interception by Grenipan and a quick pass over to Buck for a shot.
Tyson loses that. Oh, I don't know what Cedric just did there, but he ended up on his butt. Cash with his first handle of the ball, he goes back.
This line's been together for a long time. They play together locally in Ottawa. Grenipan, Buck, and Smith play together at many international events, so very familiar with each other.
Pretty much every Canada Cup that ever happened. Buck with the ball down low, cutting in front. Another save by Stockley. He tries for the long break, but it's stopped by Jet. He dishes off to Grenipan. Grenipan with the shot. Buck blocks that unintentionally. He's being marked by the Team USA captain, Vahe Vahe.
You also slow it down and get a change here. Hearns back out.
Conversation going on between goaltender and referee. Couldn't happen in hockey, there'd be too much going on.
Blanco over to Trust.
Trust with the hair flowing.
Not sure if Kasha got a piece of that or if it hit off the side of the net.
Good work from the Team USA forward. Blanco, challenged by Kudermash. And we've got and Weissman issues his first warning. Friedley down
Stephen
the far
Friedley
side.
for Canada now, the third line out here with Tristan Walsh, Friedley, and Mahoney. Friedley from Zurich, Switzerland. Big Leaf fan. Got to go see a game on Thursday, was very excited about that. Normally games are on in the middle of the night for him.
Team USA rolling their first two lines so far. Canada rocking three to start. With the first line out against Team USA's second line. Vidatovsky with the pressure.
Abersold.
Given away by Hart. Ruckman with it. Trying to find the ball. He had it in his feet. Vidatovsky comes out with it. Tries to feed it over to Barber. Ruckman gets the loose ball. Back to Barber into Vidatovsky. Oh! And we've got a free hit for Team Canada out of the corner. Expect to see, mixing it up here. Ruckman's going to take this. He drops it for Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky tries to go back to Ruckman, but it ends up on Vahe Vahe's stick. Over to his partner Hart, off Barber's foot, and into the Team USA bench. Looks like a full change from Team USA as they go back to their first line. Triborn to take it, gives it to his partner Hearns, as he surveys what's in front of him from Team Canada. Vidatovsky almost had that there. Hearns here, looking. Down to Warner Trust. He's covered by the Taylor Walsh, sorry. And that ends up being a free hit for Team USA. Going to be taken by Blanco.
Played just over 4 minutes here, still scoreless. Both teams just trying to feel each other out, I think, at this point.
In comparison to the games we've had here at our national tournament, this seems like a lot less time has passed. And with even more time to be played, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Oh, brief turnover for Team Canada, but it ends up back with Walsh. Warner Trust closing the gap. The ball ends up in the corner with Hearns. As both teams look to make a change. Second lines come out for both squads. Vahe to his partner. He's being chased by Buck. Now Grenipan circles back. Vahe to Abersold. He goes to the far side, which goes back to Vahe. Team USA looking for something in the middle, it looks like. Shot blocked by Kyson. Oh, and the first goal of the tournament is scored by Hansen. Funny bounce, came right to him.
Exactly, as you mentioned, yeah, just a loose ball and right on his stick and beat Kasha over the left shoulder.
You'll notice too here how the referees are in their positions required based on what the teams are doing and one reporting. I don't expect too many mistakes from this veteran crew. They've been around the world multiple times. They've done something like 6 men's world championships final games, which is an incredible honor for them. So great to have them over here for this important matchup.
Yeah, they were in Iceland and they're very good with the communication with both teams.
Big win for Eckleberry over Tristan Walsh there. Oh, and Mahoney ties it up from Greenway, and it's instantly 1-1 in about 4 seconds, too.
About that, and you see again a turnover. The U.S. plays it back behind the net, funny bounce. Friedley picks it up, passes it out front, and Mahoney right there to finish.
The app can't even update. It was that quick.
They haven't even had time to announce it yet, the USA goal. But 1-1 tie, so a good answer for Canada there. And now they come right back with their top line.
Scramble draw almost off the top there. Vahe on Vidatovsky, not giving him any room. Fast break down the far side by Abersold. Oh, and we have our first penalty of the game. Both referees caught that one.
It's going to be a knee call against Vahe on Vidakovsky. The U.S. captain will head off for 2 or less.
Wait to see what the official call is here. I didn't recognize that hand signal made by Weissman. Iceland to start off this Canadian power play, which will end at 12:20 if they don't manage to score.
Out there with Jete on the forward line of Vidakovsky, Barber, and Smith.
Vidatovsky down low. Barber with the shot, save Stockley, and it's fired out by Team USA.
Good ball movement there. Vidakovsky down low to Smith, quickly out front to Barber, and Stocky able to close the 5-hole and make the save.
Smith starts us off again here. Being watched close by
Team USA's first goal scored
Eckleberry.
by David Hansen. Assisted by number 23, Colin
Far side to Jete by Vidatovsky. Kyson in the middle, back to Jet. He goes down low to Barber. Barber, back to Kyson. Kyson playing basketball.
Team Canada's first
Goes
goal
for the
scored by number 13,
looping shot that ends up in the ceiling.
Assisted by number 20, Stephen Friedley. On the goal, 5 minutes.
Some confusion about the placement of the free hit here from Team USA. They fire it down. Hansen had it for a second, but now it's an odd man rush for Team Canada, sorry, as Vidatovsky fires that over the net.
2 minutes for indirect hit.
Indirect hit.
5 minutes, 40 seconds.
Indirect hit was the call. Basically, body contact and floor ball. Kyson over to Vidatovsky. On the close wall here to us by the cameras. Back to Vidatovsky. Down low to Smith. Smith in front. Barber again. That one looks like it hit Stockley to me, but I'm not sure what. Oh, we've got a Team USA free hit.
Same setup there for Canada. U.S. is going to have to be aware of that.
Lots of motion here from Team USA, but Hearns fires it up and it's picked up by Jet. He goes down, saved by Stockley. Barber tries to put it out, comes off his heel. Kyson into the corner. Hearns all alone, has a second. Smith quickly on him. Hearns down low to Eckleberry. Eccleberry is being covered by Kyson. Smith steps in as well. They're being told to move it. Free hit for Team Canada. Vidatovsky moving the ball quickly. We've only got about 25 seconds here left in this Canadian power play. This fivesome has been out for the whole time so far. Jet on the far side over to Kyson. Vidatovsky here. Vidatovsky to Kyson. Kyson with some space. Down low to Smith. Vidatovsky. Smith into the middle to Barber, and there it is! The play they've been looking on. And Brandon Pavel Barber with his first of this tournament.
Canada was really focusing on working on the right side with that play, and it finally worked.
Two big saves previously from Stockley in the exact same situation. Barber just got the angle right that time, a little more up on the left. And with that, Canada takes the lead and sends out their third line against the second line of Team USA. Face-off win by Hansen. Friedley comes up with it though, stopped by Vahe. Kenny with it, but he loses it to Kurtamash. Up to Mahoney. He's being challenged by Hart. Push on Mahoney. Or by Mahoney, sorry. Vahe. Back to Hart. Being watched by Friedley, both of them. Friedley with the long reach. Makes sense to have him up on the front here.
Canada's second goal, scored on the power play by number 88, Brandon Barber.
Abersol was trying to find Hart, but instead, far side. Vahe carries it back. Goes to Abersol. Abersol goes long to Hart. He's being covered by Kurtamash. Friedley steps in. Shot by Hansen goes high and wide through the uprights. It's a free hit for Team Canada. They send out their first line to match against Team USA's first line. Walsh controlling things from the middle of the floor. Ruckman. Walsh down to Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky being watched by Warner Trust. He fires that shot across. Barber into the corner against Eccleberry. Warner Trust comes out with it, but he's stopped by Ruckman. Ruckman with the quick hands coming in. Delays the shot. Vidatovsky in front of the net makes it 3-1 Canada.
Well play set up there by Ruckman as he drew the defender to him. Vidakovsky wide open in front of the net, and somebody like him is not going to miss that opportunity.
Especially from only a foot out.
Playing for Nokia in the Finnish F League. And all that momentum that Team USA had from scoring the first goal has been completely wiped away by Canada here, now answering with 3 unanswered goals.
Canada sends out their second line to match against USA's second line. Such a clean face-off win from Hansen that Stockley has to play it off to Hart. Cam Buck on the forecheck here for Team Canada. Not giving Vahe as much space as he probably would like. Pressuring Hart now. Hart moves the ball up. Jet steps up, but it bounces over his stick. Abersol trying to control it. Pressured by Cam Buck. Over on the far side to Caddy. Cash with the grab, and he sends Grenapan for a run. Cedric, shot, post, loose in front. Oh, we have a slash on the goalie.
Did that go off the post, Carl? I had an angle. I wasn't sure if Stockley got it or if it hit the post.
I heard a ding. I heard a ding, so that's what I'm going by. Free hit for Team USA as a slash was called on Cam Buck for getting the hands of Stockley, who, as you and I were talking yesterday, Stu, during the national tournament, Stockley does not wear gloves. Turnover for Team USA. Mahoney to Friedley, and it's 4-1 for Team Canada. Mahoney with the first shot. Stockley made the save, but he couldn't grab the rebound before Friedley put it into the back of the net.
So the opposite of the second Canadian goal, this time Mahoney feeding Friedley. And Canada now up 4-1. We haven't played 10 minutes of the first period here. US needs to regroup, start playing the way they did in the first couple minutes where they had good control and were able to capitalize on a bad bounce.
And Canada goes right back with their first line up against Team USA's second line. Vitatowski with the win at the face-off over Hansen. Back to Walsh. Ruckman gives it to Walsh. Didn't like what he saw, so he goes back to Ruckman. Ruckman brings it down low. Tries to go low to Vitatowski, but it rolls off his stick. Hart with it, back to Vahe Vahe. Hansen to Vahe Vahe. Vahe Vahe looking for his options, goes up the middle through to Abersold. Abersold knocks it down to Hansen. Hansen with the shot, and that goes high and wide. Just a little too far away from the net. Walsh with it now. To Ruckman, back to Walsh. Walsh to Ruckman, up the wall to Barber. Playing on his offside here. Instantly goes back to the middle of the net. Hansen takes it away though. Through the middle. Cash doesn't let that become anything. He gives it to Walsh. Teams are starting to make a change here. Grenipan out for Team Canada. He comes flying down the right side here. Into the middle, Smith just got tied up with Hart. And now Smitty's on his horse after Hart. Comes back to Hearns in front of the Team USA net. Hearns regroups behind. Taking a look at his options here. Finds Eckleberry. He goes to Warner Trust. He's matched by Keiston. Gets it low to Blanco. Blanco being stepped up on by Jet. Keiston comes away with it. Grenipan given the advantage. Guess not. I thought he had. Triborn with it. Over to Hearns. Hearns slows it down just a second. Over to Eckleberry. He gives it to Blanco. Back to Hearns. Hearns with the shot. That went off a leg. Might have been Cash's. And we have a free hit for Team Canada out of the corner. Oh, sorry. Team USA is the call from Thomas Anderson.
Both teams able to get a change in there. US on the far bench from where the ball was. Canada nearest to it, so able to get out there quickly. Because you usually only want to change when you have possession.
Freely with it. Beats his man rolling down low, gives it to Walsh. Walsh puts it back down low for Friedley. Friedley. This is the first appearance for Team USA's third line. Kurtamash being watched by Tvetin. He gives it back to Friedley. Friedley watched by Van Patten. Kurtamash tries to go through Van Patten. It doesn't quite work, so he goes to his partner. Back to Kurtamash in front of the Canadian net. Friedley now. Marked by Van Patten. Shot into the middle is blocked by Team USA. Walsh being double teamed here in the corner. He gives it over to his defensive partner.
Justin Knight making his senior men's debut here. Previously played on the U19 program in the qualifier against the US in Salt Lake City.
Mahoney
penalty shot coming.
Picks himself a penalty shot. I believe it's Roland who's the offender.
And one of the best penalty shootout players coming out to take it, Vitakowski.
Team USA sticking with Stockley in net. Sometimes, just like in soccer, teams will change goalies. Stockley moving rather quickly here. Stockley with the save though! Got just enough of it to put it into the corner. And Team USA very quickly comes to thank their goaltender for bailing them out and keeping it only a 3-goal game here.
Maybe that's the momentum shift that Team USA needs. Vitakowski usually money on penalty shots, and Stocky able to get his arm on it as Witkowski went to the backhand.
And he got just enough of spin on it too to have it curve away, because there was a second there where I thought that was still going to go in, even though he got his arm on it. Face-off win by
Ruckman.
Hart. Vitatossi comes out with it though of the corner and beats Stockley under the arm.
Not going to stop that one. Witkowski with the sweep shot as he comes out, curls the top of the crease and fires it, increasing Canada's lead to 5-1.
So much for that penalty shot save being a turning point. I looked down for half a second and Vitatossi had the ball out of the corner there after Team USA had gained possession off the draw.
Canada going with the hands up goal song, and so far we've heard a lot of the hands up. 5 goals in just about 13 minutes of play here.
I believe this is Grenipan's first face-off. He's going up against Eckelberry, who wins it back, but not close enough to Hearns. So Grenipan now has it around the net. Back to Jet, over to Kyson. Shot blocked by Warner Trust. Kyson with it, puts it down low. Referee Anderson has to get out of the way. Put in front by Jet. And Stockley controls it down here. He tries to find Blanco, but Kyson steps up. Back to Jet. On the far side here for Team Canada. Shot into the middle.
Carter Cook also making his debut for Canada on a national stage.
Hearns lets out a expletive I cannot repeat. We're losing control, but he has it now. Goes back to his partner Triborn. Triborn being watched closely by Freely as Canada's third line starts to make its way onto the floor here. Hearns with it again. Down in the far corner here. Freely watching. Putting some pressure on Hearns here. Hearns controls it. Oh, and the free hit is given for the stick contact from Freely. And the rest of his line mates join him out here. Sever on the back end with roll-in for Team USA as they roll out their third line for the second time today. On the far wall for Tivetin. Down to Van Patten. He tries to go far side for Angersteg. He lost it to Freely though. Freely comes down the far in the middle. Stopped by Sever, but Freely has it again. Freely's being told he can't push the stick away like that by referee Thomas Anderson. And Vahe out quickly to take a free hit, try and take advantage of this line change here as he gives it to his partner Hart. Back and forth between the Team USA defense partners here as Abersol drops back. He's looking for the long shot, stopped by Taylor Walsh. Ruckman with 2 on him, and he goes back to Taylor. Ruckman up the far wall to Vitatossi, who's left unmarked. Unfortunately, he couldn't corral the bouncing ball off this floor here. He's got it now, though, with Hansen on him. 2 U.S. defenders marking Vitatossi. He goes over the stick to Barber, but it's knocked away. We have an advantage for Team Canada as Barber's put into the boards. Vitatossi, wrapped by Hari, sorry. Barber can't knock it down. Ruckman. Low to Vitatossi, back out in front, hits a leg. He's being double teamed, and we have a penalty coming up.
Come on!
And that's Ketty being penalized. Obstruction, but referee Thomas Anderson felt his foot motion towards the Canadian Vitatossi was completely unnecessary. And Canada's power play looks to strike again here.
1 for 1 so far in the game.
4:18 left, which means 2:18. Should the offense go unpunished by Team Canada here, as team captain Matthew Smith starts us off.
We'll see if Canada decides to run the same setup. Vidakovsky down to Smith and then out to Barber in the center.
They've got a slightly different unit out here with Ruckman up top and Jet on the side. Barber loses it. Ruckman being chased down, but Team USA can't get to it. Jet, Smith into the corner. He's got Barber down low. Smith, Jet's in the middle now. Tries to go all the way up top to Vidakovsky, but it's intercepted by Blanco briefly. He's being marked by Triborn. Smith goes off Hearns, doesn't go into the back of the net though. Eckleberry out here as well for Team USA. Across the Ruckman, down low to Smith. Barber was marked this time. Stockley can't grab the loose ball off the wall though. Eckleberry trying to get a stick in the lane here. He does. Hearns gets it and he fires it down as Eckleberry chases down Ruckman. Ruckman may have him beat here. No, Eckleberry comes away with it. Vidakovsky over to Smith. On the far side here, looking, holds, waits too long. Triborn with it now. Being double teamed by Smith and Barber. Hearns comes out with it. Jet tries to get on top of him, but he gets it down. And Hearns is chasing Ruckman down. Hearns hasn't wandered this far from his net all game. And now he has to hustle back.
30 seconds to go in the player advantage for Canada.
Vidakovsky to Jet. He knifes that into the corner. Hearns being almost triple teamed there by the Team Canadian players. Ruckman back to Vidakovsky, who's up top now. Holds, puts it into the middle. Barber can't seem to get a stick on it. Might have been tied up in the legs of Hansen. Jet manages to get back and prevent Hansen from getting a complete advantage, but it's into Abersold. Cash with the save, and he jumps on the rebound. As we mark down, we're even now, 5-on-5, as Keddy's out of the box.
So Canada falls to 1 for 2 with the player advantage. Still holding this 5-1 lead with just over 2 minutes to go in our opening period.
Bartomash over to Friedley. Friedley to Walsh. Walsh to the shot, saved by Stockley. Friedley doesn't know where it is. So Hearns grabs it up. We're seeing some changes here from Team USA as they try to adjust to this Team Canada force that's been thrown at them. Mahoney with the pick. Keeps possession. He's gone around Triborn, but Stockley grabs the ball and gives it up to Blanco. Blanco streaking down the far side. Can't make the move in between the two Canadian defenders. Knight holds him off. Friedley as well. Knight trying to beat Blanco to the ball. Blanco spins out of it, and he's managed to earn Team USA a free hit. Their first one in the defensive zone in quite some time.
USA will get a change here.
Canada as well, they're confused about who it's supposed to be. It's that first line going out.
They had too many players on the court there for a minute as Cook came out with the top line. Wraparound try there.
By Tivetan, jammed by Cash. Abersold out there with part of the third line, or it looks like Tivetan's been moved up to the second line here, sorry. As Abersold and Hansen are still together. Back to Hari. Over to Abersold and low to Hansen. Back to Abersold. Abersold. Over to the far side to Tivetan. Vidakovsky comes away with it as we hear the Mario theme song to let us know there's 1 minute left. Abersold manages to get around Barber. He's being cut off by Taylor Walsh. Hari with it now, into the middle. Tivetan can't hold it. Vidakovsky now, 2-on-1. He pushed it over to Barber. Back to Vidakovsky! And Stockley has no chance as the pass back had him completely out of position. For those of you watching and wondering why the referees aren't approaching each other, it's because they have headsets and they're communicating at all times. Communicating not only what's happening in terms of the score sheet, but what they're seeing. So when a partner might be blocked by a couple players, he knows that something may have happened that he needs to be paying attention to on the reverse side, and vice versa. Grenipan with another win here as Cook tries to grab the ball. Kyson back out with his regular partner Jet.
Disappointed we didn't see any hats on the court there as Vidakovsky notches his third with Barber picking up the assist.
Well, if the Hats were going to come, they would have come from the boys in red on the bench, and they don't have them with them, unfortunately. That pass in through the middle. Buck down as Van Patten brings it out for Team USA with about 12 seconds left here. The third line on for Team USA as Grenipan streaks up the far side, gives it to Cook. Cook with the shot, Stockley to save. Buck tries to grab the rebound though. And Sever just holds on until the buzzer times out. And as we end the second period, it is Canada 6, Team USA 1.
A dominant period by Canada and Vidakovsky in particular. And the U.S. has to regroup now with 2 periods of play in this first game of 2.
washroom. That's for Stu because he likes shots.
Coach for the women's national team from 2013 to 2015. General manager for the women's under-19 team from 2015 to 2016. Head coach for the women's national team from 2015 to 2018. General manager for the women's national team from 2018 to 2019. He was a Floorball Canada board member as the director of women's high performance from 2015 to 2019. Founding member of Toronto United Floorball Club, and has been an active member of the Cambridge Floorball Club since 2020. Thank you very much, Simon. And we'd also like to recognize Paul Charbonneau, who was the Vice President of Floorball Ontario from 2007 to 2010, coached the Floorball Ontario women's team from 2008 to 2009, men's national team staff in 2008 and 2016, was a Floorball Canada board member, director of government relations from 2007 to 2010, and from 2012 to 2016 was the Floorball Canada board member, director of high performance. Thank you, Paul.
But in three of us just playing each other.
Considering it's only that group, you guys look really good out there. Like you would think you'd have like the best of the league type of situation.
We would love to have something that's happening here on the east, like that you guys, so many different clubs that they can play each other.
Yeah. Shots.
Yeah. Welcome back to Kerr Hall on the campus of Toronto Metropolitan University. 6-1 Canada leads the U.S. after one period of play in game one of our America's qualifier. And Carl, pretty dominant performance by Val Vidakovsky for Canada. 3 goals in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you take him out of the equation, it's only a 3-1 game, probably even 2-1 because he was in on one of the other goals as well. Point of order for all of you new to floorball. The teams do switch ends, but they also switch benches, which means there's no long change like there is in hockey. It's just to make sure that both teams get an opportunity to go north-south and south-north.
And great to see that back during COVID. We got away from it where teams just stayed on their own side. But now that we're back to normal times, hopefully, we have the switching of benches, and Canada now moving from right to left and the U.S. heading from left to right. Or I guess if we talk about in Toronto, moving from the water to North Toronto.
Abersold with it down low. Back out to Triburn. Abersold tries the sweep shot, but it's stopped by Lulu Lam. Oh, sorry. Oh, Blanco. Oh.
Lumiella, the Finnish native, was hard in the bench. He's already got sore knee and a sore ankle. So looking to avoid injury here.
We'll keep an eye on that as well. Both teams do carry reserves. Not reserves. They have players at the end of the bench there that they usually don't see too much action unless necessary, but we'll see what happens here. Grenapan with it, with a spin, over to Smith. Smith being watched by Vahe. The 2 Fresno teammates going at it all game so far. Back to Kyson. Kyson over to Smith, being watched by Hansen. His shot sort of makes it through. Grenapan tries the Michigan, but just slides off his stick at the last second. Hari then dangles through Grenapan, but he's stopped by the leg of Smith. Smith back to Grenapan. Grenapan blocked by Hansen. Abersold runs into Jet. Ketty tries to put it in the middle. Abersold. Well, Kosh has been run into, but he's okay. Jet into the corner. We've got an advantage for Team USA. And a timeout.
And Carl, after that play that we talked about right in front of us here with Lumiella getting injured, it's actually Blanco from the U.S. over on the bench. They're looking at his left hand. So I don't know if in the collision he went hard into the court, but we'll have to see if he comes back. A major loss for the U.S. if he's injured.
Yeah, especially from that top line. Werner Truss out here with a mix of players. Back to Hearns. Shot on net, goes wide. Tevet with it now, throws it out in front. Freely beats Triborn to it, and it ends up in the Canadian bench. The Canadian coach thought that was going to be a Canadian free hit, but it's actually for Team USA. Tevet to take it. Shot is blocked by Courtemanche. Fires it over to Knight, but Werner Truss with the interception. And Cash with the huge save coming across to bail out his defensive pair. Freely over to Knight. Knight back to Courtemanche. Courtemanche over to Freely. Freely holds, being watched by Tevet. Over to Walsh. Walsh with the shot, Stockley with the arm save. Knight working down low there. Double teamed by 2 Team USA players. Triburn comes away with it. He gives it to his partner Hearn. Hearns holds as the line change happens for both teams here. Hari takes it from off the bench. Vahe was a little delayed coming on, but it almost worked for him. Abersold with it now. And he gains the free hit as he lost his momentum. He goes back to Hari. As Team Canada throws out their first line here against Team USA's second line. Abersold gets Vitoski moving the other way, but Vitoski still gets a stick on it. Luminella moves it forward to Ruckman, over to Barber. Barber with the shot, saved by Stockley.
That's using his head, took it right off the mask.
As a hockey goalie, that's one thing I'll never understand is how they move their head into the way on purpose. I don't move my head out of the way, but I definitely am not the type of guy who's like, yeah, let's put my face in front of that. But these goalies tend to practice it more than anything.
And don't kid yourselves, this ball is coming. Some of the players, top professional leagues, can shoot the ball over 100 kilometers an hour. And speaking from experience, not blocking shots that hard,
No,
but it does leave welts. A wiffle ball does hurt.
Well, as we were talking yesterday during the Canadian National Tournament that's happened here, some of those girls are probably going to look like a floor ball. Barber with a nice move. Stockley with another save. He runs into Barber.
Barber kind of came up limp too. He
Warner
heads right off.
loses it. Luminella stops him. Blanco, mom goal, grabs it it off the wall and decides to very calmly give it to Taylor Walsh, who holds and waits for the line change. Both teams making their moves here. Jet over to Keiston. Grenapan back to Jet. Canada not forcing anything with a 6-1 lead. They don't really have to. Grenapan over to Buck. Buck with some time and space walks in, trying to find Smith. Vahe all over him. He comes out with it. Feeds it through the middle, but unfortunately Abersold wasn't there just yet. He gives it back to Hari. Hari with the nice hands over to Hansen. Hansen down low. Abersold again can't just seem to get the handle. Ketty in the corner with Jet.
And Carl, you had mentioned not forcing the play. Canada won game 1 in Texas 4-1, and then in game 2 they were up 3-0 after the first period, and they kind of let up thinking they had it won. I don't think you can change the way you play. You have to keep your same style no matter the score.
Yeah.
Because that's when you can get in trouble. The U.S. came back and actually took a 4-3 lead in game 2 before Canada tied it. And again, because of the aggregate, was still able to advance.
Team USA free hit on the deflection here. Canada sends out their third line and USA matches as well. This looks to be like another mixed bag for them. Trying to get something going here.
Barber on the bench just took off one of his shoes, so I don't think we'll see him return quite in the next little bit.
Tevet here. Give it to Aberstein. Shot on net. Saved by Cash. Cleared by Walsh. Walsh trying to feed it through to Mahoney, but gets lost in the legs. Kurtimosh corrals it and gives it to Friedley. Friedley spins. Over to Kurtimosh. Friedley back to Kurtimosh. He down low to Mahoney. Mahoney tries to sweep, gets lost in his blade. Friedley and Mahoney down low together, rolling. Too much body on that one. Cut off Friedley, but didn't exactly do it the way you're supposed to. Walsh goes down low to Mahoney. Mahoney back to Walsh. Walsh gives it to the referee. Nothing comes of it though, so no whistle. Walsh.
No change of possession, so Canada continues play. If it had been a turnover, they would have blown it dead and we would have had a face-off.
Ball's in the corner here with Sever. He gives it to Triborn coming on along with Blanco.
Blanco with some tape on that left wrist, so a little bit of an injury, but we'll see if it affects his play.
Checked his blade, make sure it's good. Far pass. Ahead for Eckleberry. He gets beat to it by Walsh. Walsh to Ruckman. Oh, almost had his pocket picked by Blanco. Luminella now up front to Vitatowski. He puts it over to Cookie. Getting an appearance on the first line with Barber sitting. Blanco. Far side to Eckleberry. He goes over to Warner Trust. Cash bid on the play, but he still made the save. Grabs the bounce. And now he sends Vitatowski on a run. Hearns all over him. Vitatowski looking. Triple team there. Eckleberry comes up with it. Hearns. Vitatowski with it again. He's got Eckleberry all over him. He's been given the advantage here by the referee. Lost it. Here's Abersold. Walsh corners him off the post. Walsh clears it, and now Cook goes back the other way. Warner Trust chases him down, and we have a Canadian free hit after some exciting action here. End to end over the last minute and a half.
Fixes his net as that one hit the post and came out the other side. U.S. thought it had gone in.
We've seen a few posts today so far.
But we still remain at 6-1. 7 minutes gone here in period number 2. No goals so far in the second period.
And a much faster pace than the first period where it felt like 4 minutes was 20.
So both teams making adjustments in the intermission that they had.
Ari has his arm draped all over Cam Buck, and Buck earns the free hit. Buck to his captain and teammate from Ottawa, Smitty. Back to Buck. He's got Vahe all over him. Grenapan looking to be in the corner and open. He fires it on nets. Stockley the save. Abercrombie comes out with it, but Grenapan manages to sprint back and get it. Abercrombie isn't giving up so easy though. Cash sets a pick. Keddy comes flying in. Grenapan over to Jet. Jet all the way down to Buck. Buck loses it to Hari, who has Keiston all over him. As Mahoney's back on defense, that's a rare sight. Jet up with it, goes to fire it into the front. Its ball is loose, and Abersold is chasing it down in the Canadian corner here as Grenapan fishes it back towards Mahoney. Mahoney's got Buck in front of the net, but Eckelberry manages to come off the bench.
Yeah, great back check to get in front of Buck as he was in behind as the U.S. had gone for a change as the ball went down the court.
This is starting to turn into a bit of a ping pong match here with both teams going one way action. Ball comes right back out the other action. Friedley with the pressure on Triborn and Hearns. Blanco doesn't seem to be affected by whatever was going on with his wrist now that it's taped up. Warner Trust battling with Justin Knight. Knight comes out with it for now. Knight still has it. Knight to Friedley. Triborn stops that, but Mahoney picks it up. Mahoney with a burst of speed that we don't normally see in FLO. Somehow gets in front of the net. Walsh back to Kurtamash. Kurtamash stopped by Blanco. Tries to send Warner Trust through. It's just a little too far. Warner Trust over to Eckerbold. Mahoney knifes that down to Friedley. Friedley with the shot, and he scores! And at the halfway point, Team Canada makes it 7-1. Friedley from Mahoney.
Friedley with his second of the game. And we didn't get a chance coming out of the break to talk about the first period summary. Canada 14 shots to the U.S. 4. U.S. 3 blocks, Canada 5 blocks. And obviously Canada with the 6-1 lead, and now the first goal that happens here in the second period, extending that to a 7-1 lead.
Vidatovsky with another win. Barber back out on this first line for Team Canada. Luminella back to Walsh. She gives it over to Ruckman. Ruckman looking. Finds Walsh. Walsh. Ruckman. Pressure by Aberford. Over to Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky loops back. Being watched by Abersold. Over to Walsh. Walsh puts it down into the corner. Vahe tried to corner off Ruckman. He's being double teamed by Vahe and Kitty. Walsh walks in. Barber's in the corner as Hari is all over him. Hansen comes away with it and fires it down. Vidatovsky. Oh. So apparently we got that wrong. Tristan Walsh on with his first point of this weekend. Over to Luminella. He couldn't corral it as it bounced off his stick. He goes back to Walsh. Walsh to Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky walks in, tries to find Luminella again. This time it's picked off by Abersold. Luminella doesn't give up on Abersold. Vahe comes away with it. Luminella gets the warning from the referee and decides it's better to get back. Make that line change as both teams casually make a swap. Blanco trying to create something here for Team USA, goes to Triborn, who goes to Hearns. Back to Blanco. Over to Echoberry, who loops back and gives it to Triborn. Now with Hearns. Hearns beats Buck, puts it down to Warner Trust, who is semi-alone, but Cash takes care of it. He rolls it out into the corner for Keiston.
Canada lucky there as Trust got in behind the Canada D, was wide open, but that ball just rolled over his blade.
Jet with it now, drops it back to Keiston. Keiston hasn't really gone for a run yet. Was known for them in Texas. Jet with the shot on net, Stockley with the pick. He fires it off to Triborn, who after it deflects off Matt Smith is in the Team Canada bench.
Free hit for the U.S. back on their side of half.
They send out the third line, it's with Sever. Over to Roland, up to Vet. Down with Van Patten. Buck just missed that. Sever over to Engerstein, but Jet comes away with it. Keiston holding his ground here as Team Canada brings out their next squad. They too are going to throw out their third line against this third unit of Team USA. Granapan leaves it for Kurtumash. Kurtumash waits for the full exchange to happen. Goes up his wall to Mahoney. Mahoney gets the sweeper off, but it goes to a little wide. On the back of the net as Angerstein comes out with it. He goes back to Roland. Roland to Sever. Angerstein. He goes down to Van Patten. Van Patten loops it low to Roland. He's being watched by Knight. Over to Tevet. Back to Sever. He has Friedley. Kurtenmosh manages to pick that up. He takes it behind his own net but loses the handle. Roland is all over him, and now Van Patten. He gives it to Roland. Christian Walsh is back to help out. Knight all over Roland. Mahoney racing for it, but it's picked up by Freely with his long reach. He finds what a save by Stockley on Mahoney on the cross crease pass. Got a leg on it. I don't know how. That shot goes high and wide, and it's a Team USA free hit from the corner. And Stockley gets a fist bump from referee Thomas Anderson. Even he has to appreciate that one.
Yeah, great save. We thought it might be a turn in momentum for the U.S. when Stockley had the penalty shot save on Vidakovsky, but then Canada scored right after that. So we'll have to see if the U.S. can take advantage here, and here they come.
Truss Warner managed to sneak behind again, but he throws it in front to the wrong team as Taylor Walsh breaks out with Blanco on his butt. And to Barber, who scores from about 20 feet out.
We can almost call it. Big save by Stockley, and then Canada forces the play and able to add another goal.
That was
Barber's second goal of the game.
And Taylor Walsh's first point by the looks of it.
We'll have to wait and see who the assist goes to, but Canada now up 8-1, 6:29 to go here in period 2. I wonder if the U.S. would consider making a goalie change.
I was just about to say I don't know about you, Stu, but I think I don't blame Stockley for any of these. He's been unreal for them. This is the one thing about floorball. If you're new to the sport, a goalie can have an awful save percentage and still be the best player on his team because it's such a team sport. But you've got a game tomorrow, and he's got to be your guy the way he's playing right now. It might be worth saving him.
But you don't want to get the score
too far
where you can't come back. Jimmy Daly out there making his first appearance on the court today's game. The Bulldog, as they call him.
Almost gets one.
Canada's 8th goal, scored by number 88, Brandon Barber. Assistant by number 15, Taylor Walsh.
So Taylor Walsh with his second assist of the period.
Smith over to Keiston. Keiston back to Smith. Smith to Jete. Jete over to Keiston. It's in the corner now. Keiston into the middle here, picked up by Abersold. And Kashe bails them all out. Jete fires it across to Keiston. Finally seeing Keiston moving forward with the ball. Shot on net. Stopped by Stockley. Batted out of the air, but that's a no goal. That's a high stick. That's a high stick by Grenapan. Unreal hand-eye, but unfortunately, that's not a goal for Team Canada.
Yeah, the fans here don't like it, but it's totally the right call. That stick was way above the knees of Grenapan as he knocked it in the net.
Kind of right in that sweet spot of just below the waist, but not. So not a penalty for Team Canada, but also not a goal. Unreal first save by Stockley again, too, on Keiston. Sever here. Over to Angerstein. Angerstein looking for something, anything. Gives it back to Sever, who flies it up the side. Friedley has it now, though. He's all alone. Kortenmosh has stepped into the play here. He gives it over to Mahoney again. Mahoney back to Kortenmosh. Kortenmosh back to Tristan Walsh. Kortenmosh takes a shot. Stockley with the save. Stockley trying to find Roland, but Tristan Walsh comes all the way back. Knight finds Friedley. Oh, and it just hops over his stick. He was all alone in front of the American net with not a single white shirt anywhere near him. Walsh on the back end over to Kortenmarsh. Kortenmarsh with his infamous sweep shot from the half wall there and just puts it a little wide. Sever tries to slow it down for Team USA as everybody starts their change. Both teams once again throwing out their first lines here. Triborn to Hearns as Vidatovsky approaches him. Triborn to Blanco, Triborn, Hearns. USA looking for these one-touch passes. Warner Trust down in the corner with Walsh all over him. Blanco behind the net. Luminella all over him. Ball's bouncing in between everybody's legs here. Warner Trust loses it to Walsh. We have an advantage. Oh, Walsh gives it to the wrong guy as here comes Blanco. Oh, and we have our first USA goal of the second period. Warner Trust from Blanco. Kasha got a piece of it, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, giveaway at center by Canada, and the US comes down 2-on-1. Nice pass by Blanco, one-handed pass on his backhand, and Trust able to bury it. Kasha got part of it, but just not enough to keep it out. And now 8-2 for Canada. 3:22 to go in the second period. Maybe this is the momentum that the Americans need. Not a goalie save, but a goal. Although Canada did answer in the first period after the US scored.
Yes. As more and more players from the national tournament join us, we have a packed house here at Kerr Hall. Grenapan with the win. Smith pulls it down to Daly, getting his second shift out here. Jet with the shot, and that one's wide of the uprights. Roland over to Sever. Sever and Roland. This third line for Team USA getting some more action here as we get further into this game. Roland. Sever in front of his own net being double teamed. Jet into the middle for Grenapan. Grenapan with the long shot. Easily grabbed by Stockley. He's looking for somebody, anybody. He gives it to Matt Smith. Matt Smith takes a shot. Saved by Stockley. Sever knocks the ball away. Angerstein behind the net. Stockley does not sound happy, even from up here. Angerstein. Stopped by Jet and the combined effort of Grenapan. Jet loses the handle, though. It's in the middle of the floor here. No one's got it. Well, we have a white free hit for Team USA as the back referee, Thomas Anderson, thought that was a little too much. Vahe to take the free hit. Hari.
Some confusion here for Canada on the change as Grenapan couldn't get out, and then they were short a D. So Matt Smith able to get off and Kutumash on, so at least they have two Ds. Not the normal pairing when you have Keiston and Kutumash.
Friedley down to Kurtenmash. They're waiting for that one. Okay, one change down, and there goes Keiston. to make it a full sail complete here for Team Canada. Friedley back to Knight. Knight to Friedley. Friedley. Knight. Friedley puts it into the middle and gets the free hit for a stick contact. Team USA captain Vahe Vahe has been getting more and more vocal as this game goes on, and we can hear him even up here as he starts shouting instructions to his team, trying to get them to do what they need to do to make at least get this goal differential down. Walsh in the corner, taps it for Friedley. Friedley with the shot. Stockley the save. Stockley gives it to Vahe Vahe. Vahe Vahe moving up through the middle. Abersold. Hansen. Down low to Vahe Vahe. He's watched by Knight. He goes to Ketty. Ketty walked by Kurtenmosh, is stripped. Friedley goes back down low. Kurtenmosh. Team USA. Oh.
There you go, Ralph. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Ketty getting a talking to by the referee.
Much like rugby, or if you speak disrespectfully to the officials in floorball, they don't stand for it. They usually only give you one warning. They're always polite when speaking to you, and they expect the same in return. Blanco with the missed shot off the free hit. Warner Truss back with it as he's watched by Walsh. Picked up by Luminella. As we hear the Mario theme for the 1 minute mark. Vitatovsky beats Triborn to the ball. And he brings it around back out to Walsh. Walsh over to Luminella. Shot in front. Ruckman picks it up. Oh! And just not enough curve. He had the right idea, had the corner labeled, just started a little too far outside of the net before that ball could make it towards that right-hand corner.
Ruckman was probably surprised he was that open in the slot. Just too much time and too much open space, and just skied it over the top corner.
Triborn down low to Ecclesburg. Walsh with a big stop in front. Luminella now, as he's watched by Eccleberry. Eccleberry's on his horse trying to catch up with him as they go over to Vitatovsky. Vitatovsky with Warner Trust and Hearns. Hearns stays with Vitatovsky. Triborn marks Ruckman. Vitatovsky looks like he's just trying to kill the last few seconds here. Maybe go for something. Finds Barber open. That shot gets deflected. And at the sound of the buzzer, the final score of this second period is 8-2 for Team Canada, with only 3 goals being added in total to the final tally here.
So again, score matters rather than the results. So the U.S. in the third period going to look to get a couple more on the scoreboard, try to close this gap so it gives them a chance tomorrow to take a run at the aggregate total. Welcome back to Kerr Hall at the Toronto Metropolitan University in Toronto, Canada. 8-2 our score for Canada after 2 periods of play. Carl, not as dominant performance in the second period, but Canada still able to stretch their lead against the U.S. The U.S. having to look to get back in this game and make it closer heading into Game 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, I still think it was not as much of a forced dominance that they had, but Team Canada still controlled the majority of the play. There was also a lot of back and forth that we didn't see in the first period.
Shots on goal in the second, Canada 14 for a 2-period total of 28. The U.S. with 5 for a 2-period total of 9. U.S. had 3 blocks, so they have 4 on the game, and Canada with 3 for 8 blocks total. Brendan Barber, who we thought had suffered a little bit of an injury in the second period, got some treatment, back out there on the top line with Vitkowski and Ruckman. And Max Blanco, also for the U.S., looked like he had an injury. He got that left wrist taped up, but both back out there knowing that this is a big game for both teams.
As Team Canada wins another face-off, comes back to Walsh.
Ruckman knocks it down, kicks it over to Vitkowski.
Save made by Stockley there. And we have a Team USA free hit.
That shot off the side of the net by Vitkowski and out of play. USA free hit.
Barber intercepts it though. Triborn knocks it into the Team USA bench as Luminella takes the free hit, gives it to Ruckman, back to Luminella, over to Walsh, and then Vitkowski. And we saw a lot of this in the first period. Hearns finally wins the battle against Vitkowski, but Vitkowski wins it back. It's got Hearns all over him. Luminella misses the pass, corrals it, and goes back to Walsh for safety, who goes over to Barber. Hits Vitkowski with the pass. Vitkowski drags, saved by Stockley. Vitkowski with the rebound. Vitkowski with bodies all over him. Almost gets it through to Ruckman. Blanco gets it knocked away. And Blanco has earned Team USA a free hit for his efforts.
Big save by Stuckey there on Vitkowski. Not wanting to allow an early goal here, a minute and a half into the third period.
Hari goes far side to Ketty, who's been in a little bit of trouble today. 1 penalty and 1 talking to. Keiston earns a free hit for Team Canada and rearranges the boards. Referee Rickard Weissman not falling for anything on either side there. Grenapin takes the free hit up the far wall to Buck. Buck, watched by Vahe Vahe. Into the middle, stopped by Hansen. Teddy and Grenapin go into the corner. Jet steps up. Smith, try to knock the ball down, doesn't quite. Buck, with 2 on him, gives it to Smitty, who's draped up by Hari, and earns the free hit in the corner. Smith leaves it for Grenapin. Grenapin to Smith. Stockley tries to grab it, does, and sends Abersert on a run, who was then tripped up accidentally by Jets.
So as the teams get a line change, interesting to look at the stats, Carl, and that second line for Team Canada, Bucks, Grenapin, and Smith, who we talked about, they played forever together. They don't have a goal. It's all been the first and third lines for Canada today.
I think a lot of that has to do, though, with the fact that second line goes out there against a second line, and then this third line that's out there right now for Team Canada is just as deadly as the second line. They've been playing really well together, so I think it's just a matter of today's their day, and maybe tomorrow we'll see Smith, Grenapin, and Buck put something together. Well, ball bounces out.
Matthew Mayer-Gerald
making his
getting some
debut
court
for
time
today.
here. And for the U.S., Case Connor, number 64. Big body out in front of the net. U.S. trying to get some traffic possibly in front of Kasha.
Connor, one of the younger Team USA players that's on this roster.
There's
Burns with the long
Connor.
shot in for Case. It's now with Eccleberry. He goes back to Triborn, who tries to go to Hearns, but Mahoney stepped into that. Freely with the shot, that's wide. Mahoney takes it from Stockley. Stockley almost takes out Hearns in his attempt to grab the ball. That's a big body to have fall on you. Thomas Anderson checks in on Stockley. Stockley says he's good. Rolling for Team USA, back to Sever, as we see the third line here with Warner Truss, out there with them. Maybe trying to get some speed going here against this first line of Vitatowski, Ruckman, and Barber, as Vitatowski's all alone and just puts it too far behind Barber. And Luminella trips up Abgerstein accidentally, gets his stick in his legs, and a free hit for Team USA is taken by Roland. He gives it to his partner Sever, back to Roland. Roland tries to go by Vitatowski. Vitatowski doesn't have it, so Angerstein tries again. Over to Sever. Vitatowski almost poked that into the net just by being there. Faber! After the deke move by Tivetin, it goes right to Faber, and he just claps that into the net.
Barber with his hat-trick goal, opening the high slot, and a turnover by the U.S., and probably not the guy you want to turn the ball over to. Deadly from that part of the court.
All alone as well.
9-2 Canada now.
An unfortunate slip for Tivetin. He made the move and the ball just rolled off his stick and went a little too far ahead and went straight to Barber, who made no mistake. Hansen with the face-off win, but Jet still controls it. Over to his partner Keiston. Keiston gives it to Grenapan. He gives it to Smith. Grenapan. Back to Keiston. To Jet. Grenapan. Smith. Over to Grenapan. In front to Puck. I think you spoke too early, Stu. It's almost like they took it as a challenge. As that second line comes together to make it 10-2 for Team Canada.
But now I missed out on who the assist was on Barber's goal, but again,
I think it was unassisted.
Buck from the high slot, another player that's not going to miss from there.
I'm pretty sure his was unassisted because it came off the Team USA player's stick.
Trent Kling for the U.S. over on the bench, starting to get his helmet ready. I wonder if the U.S. will look at making a change here. As you mentioned, Canada now with an 8-goal lead.
Case and Freely being told to simmer down just a little. Mahoney lining up with Blanco as a new combination of this first line shows up here. Walsh wins that face-off. Back to Friedley here. He leaves it for Curtin Marsh, who flubs it, goes to Blanco. Walsh looking to bail his teammate out here. Blanco comes away with it, poked away by Friedley. Walsh is trying to control it. He goes up the wall to Mahoney. Triborn kicks it forward. Walsh turns it away. Case comes up with it. If you know how small Tristan Walsh is, you'll realize how big Case is. Courtemanche trying to get this bouncing ball out of the way here. Team Canada given the advantage as Courtemanche is dumped, and Walsh gets tied up with Case, and that's not good. Both players walk away on their own. And it's going to be a free hit for Team Canada back in front of their own net. Oh, there's the ball. I was just about to ask, I have a very serious question. Where are all these balls keep wandering off to? But we found the game ball. Luminella back to Walsh. Over to Ruckman. Ruckman leaves it for Walsh. Finds Vidatovsky. He's watched by Tavere. Warner Trust. Aberstein. Warner Trust. Bobber knocks it down. Warner Trust with it now. Ruckman knocks it forward to Tavere. Vidatovsky comes away with it. Makes a move on Tavere. Gets around Roland. Shot on net is blocked by Agerstein. Warner Trust tries to bounce it over. Vidatovsky. Barber gives it to Vidatovsky. Back to Barber, and he misses. Barber now trying to get the things back under control here. Walsh over to Vidatovsky. Team USA starting to chase. Vidatovsky's pass hit a foot. Ends up in the corner. Barber's got Agerstein on him and Warner Trust. Luminella steps up, but Warner Trust beats him. Referee says there's no call. Kasha with the save. Team Canada's basically down a man. Cash with another save. Kyson ends up getting onto the floor. And Kyson takes a penalty here on Warner Trust. And Canada's going to end up being shorthanded.
Shorthanded and Luminella injured. The U.S. pulls their goalie, so they have the extra player here.
Blanco with it. He looks back to Triborn, gives it back to Blanco. Buck looking to force the turnover here. Just another note as we move on here, both referees will keep their hands up until a whistle is blown so that everybody knows, regardless of where you are on the floor or watching, that there is a penalty, a delayed penalty.
And sometimes their arms can get really tired because it can be a minute or two.
All right, I think we're going on 30 seconds here already, so Blanco down to Abersold. He tries to put it down to Warner Trust, and it's stopped by Jet. Kyson gets 2 for obstruction.
John Kyson, not a stranger to the penalty box, plays a physical type of game.
I'm pretty sure the penalty box is named after him in Cambridge.
And maybe he likes it when we go to the World Championships because they're usually in the shape of a bathtub. So
yeah, I saw that. That looked real comfy.
Trent Kling in net for Team USA, so they're making a goalie change here.
Not surprising considering what we were talking about in the second period. Stockley's been an absolute wall back there despite the 10-2 score. And if USA wants to stand a chance tomorrow, he's going to have to keep the ball out of the net. Warner Trust loses it. Corden Mosh fires it down. Triborn being chased by Buck. Buck caught in his tail, but he eases up. Blanco has it now, and he's bringing it up slowly. He gives it back to Triborn. Hearns leaves it for Triborn. Triborn low to Warner Trust. Warner Trust to Eckleberry, but it's picked by Cam. Buck, as he goes streaking down, loses it in Blanco's feet. And Team USA breaks back out. Granapan making sure Blanco doesn't get too close. Triborn over to his partner Hearns. He brings it down the close wall. Gives it to Triborn. Back to Hearns. Got about a minute left in this USA power play. Hearns over to Blanco. Down to Warner Trust. Back to Blanco. Out to Hearns. Hearns shot wide and hits Warner Trust. Kasha tries to grab it. Warner Trust just dumps Kortenmosh over the boards.
Actually, advantage for the U.S. that it hit Trust there, as it probably would have went out of play and been a free hit for Canada, but then Thomas Kortenmosh knocked over the boards and ends up being a free hit anyways for them. H.U. Luminella back on the court for Canada. That's a good sign after taking that high stick.
He was trying to find Vidatovsky there, just put a little too much on that. Walsh and Luminella working closely together to keep the both Walshes on the floor for the first time today. Tristan, number 55, playing on the top end. Taylor, 15, is in charge of making sure no one stands in front of the net. A whipped shot by Blanco. Luminella finds Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky with the shot. Oh, that's wide. Walsh slows Blanco down before turning back. Blanco. Shot in. And we're even now with Kyson coming back out onto the floor. as Team Canada looks to get themselves reorganized here with 3 defenders on the floor.
Luminelli will change, smart play. Smith comes out, now the
Abersold,
second line.
shot through Kyson's leg, saved by Kasha. Abersold still on it, tries to go back. Smith is going to end up with it looks like. Runs through Hari. Working down low. And he gets the free hit, which is what Smitty's all about here. He might be small, but he works like a horse and often gets what he needs. Swings it back to Kyson. Kyson to Grenapen. Grenapen. Oh, tries to dip it back to Jet. Abersold with the fancy move. Grenapen comes flying in. Oh.
Net completely
knocked
off
upside
down.
And play would have continued on, but USA had a scoring chance.
I don't know where they would have shot though. The net was sideways on the ground and behind Kasha. So
Well, if it had been upright, they still could have shot, and as long as it crosses the line and enters the net, technically it's a goal. Within reason. Which upsets every hockey fan. Third line has made its way back out onto the floor here for Team Canada. As Friedley controls it in front of Canada's net here. Walsh is called for it. He gets it. He makes the move on Roland. Keeps him to the outside. Walsh delays, comes out with it. Roland comes up with it. Oh, we have a free hit for Team Canada, looks like.
Canada will get a change as Vidakovsky, Ruckman, and Barber talk strategy as they head out to the ball. U.S. plays the ball away. Got to be careful not to get called for that.
Luminella down to Barber. Barber out front to Walsh. Oh, big save from Kling. His first real stop he's had to make. Blocked by Luminella.
Connor was on the back door wide open if the U.S. could have found him.
8:36 left in this third and final period of Game 1 of Team USA versus Team Canada. Ruckman loses it in the middle. Blanco boxes out Luminella. Takes the shot. That's wide. Case going into the corner. Oh, and we have a Canadian free hit as that ball ended up bouncing out.
Little too much spin on that.
Thomas Anderson explains to Blanco why it's a Canadian free hit. I think Blanco thought that it had hit a Canadian player and went out. Kyson with the ball now in front of the Canadian net. Streaks up the middle just a little to Grenapen. Grenapen back to Jet. Over to Smith. Smith down low to Buck. Buck with Vahe all over him. Goes low to Smith, who has Hari all over him. Smith gives it to Grenapen. Grenapen's in the corner. He dishes it out in front to Buck. That's picked off by Vahe. The two captains line up. Abersold over to Hari. Picked by Jet. Buck loops it back. Tries to find Smith, but ends up falling in his efforts. Vahe to Hari. Hari to Abersold. Abersold with some space as Buck closes the gap. That shot's wide. Van Patten finds Hansen. Hansen to Hari. Hari fakes the shot and gives it to Hansen. Hansen shoots. It's blocked. Picked up by Kasha. He finds Grenapen on the far close wing here, who's guarded by Hari and Van Patten. He fires it back to Kyson, who slows it down for Team Canada. Now he gets pressure from Abersold and Van Patten. He has his pocket picked by Abersold. Abersold can't get the shot off though, and Curtin Moss turns him away. Buck strips it from Hansen. Can't get it to go the way he wants it to, and looks like he's going to head for a change. Nope, he's being told he has to stay by Captain Matt Smith.
7 minutes to go here in the third period. U.S. getting some chances, just having balls roll off their stick. And so far, Canada not able to beat the new USA goaltender, Trent Kling.
Team USA bringing it in. Stopped by Kurtamash. Grenapen up to Buck. Buck all alone. Tries to get the shot through, but it's turned aside by Sever. Roland now dumps it back, but there's no one there, and Grenapan chases Sever down. Sever has it, but Grenapan's fighting him for it. Both of them were looking for some sort of whistle, but neither of them got it. Roland on the far wing to Aberstein. He's poked by Friedley. Mahoney almost has it. Warner Trust has it stripped from him. And the Team Canada free hit. Brought up by Team Canada. Roland intercepts that, though Tristan Walsh is quick on him. Walsh with the shot that's wide. Friedley all over Roland. Mahoney as well. Mahoney, he's been given the advantage. Stick lift on Roland, essentially. Can't come up from under. Walsh to start this free hit. Goes all the way back. Back to Walsh. Into the middle with Friedley. Friedley. Walsh. Tries to go up to Quartermash, but it's off Roland, and it's going to be a Canadian free hit. Mahoney. Behind the net, out front. Friedley skies it through the imaginary uprights.
Friedley got open in front there. Mahoney with a nice pass from behind the net. Just got under it. He was trying to go high. His thing was down, but not able to find the back of the net. Friedley with a pair of goals, also looking for his hat trick to join Barber and Vidakovsky.
Bronco earns the free hit. Ketty out here with some of the first line. USA just trying anything at this point.
Trying to get a spark.
Actually, Ketty and Case are here with just Echo Berry and the two defenders.
Free hit for the U.S. and they'll get a chance to make a change here.
Looks like Team USA was going with a four-man press there and only one defender. As they now send out a variation of this second line with Roland up front. He's been playing on the back end for the majority of it. Hansen runs into Luminella. Nowhere to go. Watched by him and Barber. Barber and Vidatovsky all the way back to Hari. A little bit of a spin move, but can't get through Ruckman. Ruckman puts it down for Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky working low. Puts it in the middle of the Barber, but it just hits a stick and bounces a little too far away. Abersold. Picked off by Barber, but picked up by Roland. Hari. Stripped by Vidatovsky by the USA bench. Vidatovsky through the legs. Barber follows up, and it's over the shoulder.
Barber picks up his fourth goal of the game, and Carl, I'll let you in on a secret. If they give Vidakovsky an assist there, he ties the all-time Canadian point leader in history, tying former national team captain and defenseman Laurie Henzulis. And
That's impressive as a defender he did that.
Yes, that's what he said when I talked to him earlier this week. He said it's about time that a forward would pass me as just a defender. But Laurie played a lot of time for the national team.
He played a lot of world championships.
And that would mean the next point for Vidakovsky could happen today or tomorrow, and that would make him the all-time leading scorer in Canadian history. That would be an unbelievable accomplishment that we're able to witness if it happens.
Considering he's only been with the national team for half the amount of time.
But you have to admit, probably the most talented player that we've seen
Where the
put
red
on the
and white.
Maple Leafs.
Yeah, exactly.
Team Canada goal scorer number 88, Brandon Barber. Assisted by number 91, Vidakovsky.
And there it is.
Confirmed by PA announcer Frank Julian. Daly out there with Grenapan and Buck. Jet stands up. Warner Trust. Van Patten strips Grenapen.
Tie up in the corner there. It's Grenapen and Van Patten.
This combination of the rejig of this first line here with Ketty on D with Hearns has come back out. Blanco looking for an option. He goes to Hearns. Hearns down to Ketty. Hearns battles with Walsh. Given back to Walsh. Walsh to Kurtenmosh. Kurtenmosh up to Cook, who hasn't been on the floor since the second period. He's getting some time here with this larger lead and 2.5 minutes to go. Friedley, who's been a dominant force here. Cook, 2 opportunities. Can't put it in the back of the net. And Kling thanks Hearns for the assist on that save.
Another chance out front for Canada, and just going high was Cook's shot, same as what we saw with Friedley earlier in the third period.
The amount of Canadian players who have been left alone in that basketball key that is the slot in front of the American net has been highly suspect. I imagine the Americans will be working on that tomorrow.
Interesting is also that the Americans practiced early this morning. Canada decided to take it off. Both teams practiced yesterday, and then the U.S. had a workout this morning. Wonder if that tired them out, maybe Canada with a little bit more extra rest.
Totally plausible. No one on Team USA's bench looks tired. Free hit for Team USA. Minute 37 left on the clock. This realigned second line back out here. Hari. Over to Hansen. Hansen. Up the wall to Roland. He's chased by Ruckman and Luminellen. Over to Barber. Barber shot wide. Vidatovsky's completely covered by Hari. Through his legs to Barber to Luminella. Luminella, oh, whiffs. And now we have a foot race. Walsh covers for his partner, but he's all alone with Roland now all over him as well. He goes to Luminella. Luminella.
1 minute remaining in the match.
Probably heard the Mario sign and decided he was just going to kill some time. He goes to Ruckman. Ruckman back to him. Walsh. Over to Vidatovsky. Vidatovsky in the middle. Ruckman stopped by Hari. Luminellen stops that breakout. Shot on net, saved by Kling. He goes for the long pass down. This might turn into something. Walsh stops that though. That shot is blocked by Walsh. Vidatovsky through the middle. Bouncing ball. Kling comes flying out to make the save, but Barber strips to Vetten. Out into Ruckman. He goes down to Vidatovsky. Tries to put it through to Barber, but too much just airtime. Barber still has it. Down to Vidatovsky. Luminella with the shot on net here to end it. Barber. Blocked by Vahe Vahe. And Barber gets stared down by Kling.
So Canada with an 11-2 win in Game 1. Tomorrow, Game 2, 12:30 start. The U.S. down 9. Have a big hill to climb, but you can never say never in these competitions until the game's over.
It's going to be an uphill battle for Team USA for sure. I think they need to work on some things defensively. They had their offensive moments, but Team Canada counter was just too strong today. And now we
Players
go.
will line up and do a player of the game presentation. Lots to select from for Canada. Barber, 4 goals. Vidakovsky with a hat trick. Friedley, 2 goals and an assist.
Player of the match for Team USA, number 75, Warner Trust. Congratulations.
Well deserved. Warner Trust
Played well on that top line, had a goal.
also was on the floor a lot.
And Barber with the 4 goals gets selected. So Carl, any last thoughts on today's game? Pretty dominant by Canada.
The most solid effort I've seen from them in a long time. So we're looking forward to tomorrow. Still a lot of work to do for them and for Team USA. As you said, never say die. So until the buzzer goes again tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we are going to be in the waiting mode, so to speak.
Look forward to tomorrow. Should be a great contest again. Like I said, always good competition between Canada and the U.S. in any sport. Could be tiddlywinks or hockey or, as we know, floorball for sure.
And for tomorrow's game, same bad time, same bad place.